I am so thrilled to be here this evening. So, tonight's topic is acne worse after coming off the pill. So, has that been something that's happening or that has happened to you? Did you try and come off the contraceptive pill and your acne was out of control? Or perhaps you haven't had acne before you went on the pill, but then you did once you actually came off the pill. So let's actually discuss why this happens and what you can do to help your body to reduce this outbreak after coming off the pill. Now, if you have any questions or comments as we go through this evening, please be sure to pop them in the comments down below. If you're watching the replay, I'll go in and answer those later for you, okay? And please hit the likes and love hearts if you're enjoying the content, because that means a lot to me. And for those of you that don't know me, my name is Michelle Cooke. I'm a hormone and fertility naturopath based in Melbourne, and I see patients online and face-to-face. So why were you prescribed the pill? Let's talk about that first, because there's lots of different reasons why you were initially prescribed it. So one of the reasons may have been to actually control your acne. And then when you came off the pill, it came back raging even worse. Or perhaps you were prescribed the pill for something other than acne, but then when you tried to come off the pill, you ended up getting it even though you didn't actually have it before going on the pill. Then you end up freaking out and you actually go back on the pill again. So why am I getting acne after stopping the pill? Let's talk about that. So the pill contains synthetic hormones. So some of them contain synthetic estrogens, so ones like Yasmin, Brenda or Diane for instance, and they will suppress the adult sebum production to that of a child, okay? And obviously you're not a child, you're an adult. But naturally, if you're an adult, you will need more sebum than that of a child, don't you? Normally, in normal circumstances. And what is sebum? Well, sebum is a naturally oily substance produced by the sebaceous glands found on the skin. And sebum, its special job is to actually lubricate and moisturize your skin to prevent it from going dry. So while you're on the pill, your sebum is being suppressed, okay? So once you stop taking the pill, there's a surge and overproduction of sebum because your body senses that there's not enough there to lubricate and protect your skin. So it kind of does a little cross-check. So, it's reduced the sebum to that of a child. So, say a 12-year-old. Then the body kind of realizes, oh, hey, Michelle's not actually 12 years old. She's actually 42 years old. So what's the deal here? There's not enough sebum. All right, so we've got to produce more. And, it sort of overproduces to try and make up for that lost time and to be equivalent of that of an adult sebum production. So that's what happens there. So basically this can last for about 3 to 6 months, and it can often be at its worst 3 to 6 months after going off the pill. Or sometimes if left untreated, this can go on for up to a year, which is really unpleasant. Another thing that happens is that your brain can now communicate with your ovaries and tell them to produce hormones again, because while you're on the oral contraceptive pill, your body, the pill will actually shut down the production of those hormones. So your body needs to learn to ride a bike again, in a sense. So it does take a while for your hormones to kind of balance out, because again, you stop the pill and your body realizes, oh, What's going on? She's not on the pill anymore. Okay, well, we're going to have to start producing hormones then. All right, brain, are you going to tell the ovaries to produce hormones? Yeah, I'm kind of a little bit, yeah, I can't remember what to do there. And, it can just take a little bit for your body to sort of get back into that routine again, because it's been so long where the body hasn't been able to produce its own hormones, so it needs to start doing that again. So that's why it can take some time. So initially your ovaries might produce too much hormones. It might produce too much androgens. So androgens are things like testosterone. And that leads to an overproduction in sebum, which, as we discussed, can make acne worse because it makes the skin more oily. So too much sebum and androgens like testosterone can contribute to your pores being blocked as well, which can contribute to acne. So not good, is it? Now, how does the pill actually prevent acne? So there's 3 ways that oral contraceptive pills actually suppress sebum. So sebum production is androgen dependent. So a type of androgen is something like testosterone. So if you have high androgens, you'll have too much sebum. So remember, that's the sort of oily lubricating substance found on your skin. Now, the synthetic estrogen found in the oral contraceptive pill decreases the activity of androgens. So that's one way that it works. So if you reduce androgens, you reduce sebum, and therefore you stop or reduce acne. The other way that it actually works is that it tells your anterior pituitary gland, which is located in your brain, to stop producing LH or luteinizing hormone and FSH or follicle stimulating hormone. And this decreases your ovaries' production of the androgen testosterone. So that's another way that it works too. The third way is that it increases sex hormone binding globulin. And basically what this does is mops up any excess testosterone, so it will actually grab onto that and stop it from binding to the receptor. Remember, a receptor is like a lock. So, for example, if you've got the androgen testosterone and that's the key, that's actually going to fit into the lock and create some sort of response. But basically, the sex hormone binding globulin is coming along, grabbing that testosterone and carrying it away so that it's not binding. So that's another way that it works as well. But the thing is, at the end of the day, the pill doesn't actually treat the causative factors underlying for your acne being there. It's just simply suppressing it. As you can see from those 3 different ways, it's actually not treating the reason why it's actually there. So, of course, when you stop the pill, it comes back with a vengeance, because the issue as to why you had the acne there in the first place hasn't been addressed. So, of course, it's going to come back along with the overproduction of sebum, because it realizes you're not a child, you're an adult, and you need to have sebum equivalent to that of an adult. So, how can I prevent post-pill acne? So one of the most important things you can do is actually supporting the organs of elimination. So they're things like the bowels and the liver, extremely important to be supporting them, because toxins and synthetic hormones are actually detoxified and broken down by those and eliminated from the body. So if that's not sort of operating well, you'll end up with a build-up of either synthetic hormones or hormones in general, which leads to a lot of hormonal imbalance, which can make your acne worse as well. So what I would advise is actually starting this sort of a couple of months before you actually go off the pill. So this is by no means, an extensive thing, and it's not the only thing I would suggest, but it's an extremely good start. So I would start with these key things. So starting by supporting your gut health. So the pill actually impacts your gut microbiota, or the good bacteria in your gut, so the balance there. So it's extremely important to support that, remembering that there's specific types of bacteria in the gut that will actually detoxify excess hormones from the body. So that needs to be, operating in key function, doesn't it? So things like probiotic foods or drinks, so things like water kefir, miso, tempeh, kombucha are great. And healing foods like bone broth as well will just make it more desirable for the bacteria to flourish there and, have a good time in the small intestine. The other thing that you can do is support your liver health. Now, this is really crucial because the liver is also involved in removing excess hormones from the body, including synthetic hormones from the pill, so any residual hormones left over there. So some liver-loving foods are things like spinach, grapefruit, beetroot, green tea is a fantastic one, turmeric, lemon juice, garlic, and cruciferous vegetables, so things like cauliflower, broccoli, Brussels sprouts, and things like that is extremely important to be including in your diet. Now, supporting your bowels is really key as well. You need to make sure that you're doing a poo at least once a day, because otherwise there's nowhere for those excess hormones or synthetic hormones to go. So if that's the case, they're going to end up being reabsorbed back into the body and causing a lot of hormone imbalance. So making sure that you're going to the toilet once a day, extremely important. So things that you can do for a bit of bowel love is the big things are fiber, water, and exercise. They're probably the key things that you need to make sure that you're incorporating. Movement, so that blood flow and oxygenation is getting to the bowels so they operate properly. Hydration is extremely important to actually flush out toxins that way. And fiber, of course, to act like a little broom, so it will kind of sweep things out of the body. So this is found in things like nuts and vegetables, particularly veggies with the skin still on, whole grains such as quinoa and buckwheat, oats, apples, avocado, asparagus, legumes like lentils, chickpeas, bolotti beans, kidney beans, etc. Healthy fats are extremely useful here. They act as a really good lubrication. So things like flaxseed oil. So don't cook flaxseed oil, just simply pour it on your dinner after it's been cooked. You can pop it into smoothies as well, just to encourage and lubricate the bowels to go. Also things like chia pudding. So chia pudding is made with chia seeds, which contain omega-3, 6 and 9. So lots of healthy fats there. And basically what you do is you soak the chia seeds overnight in a non-dairy milk. So something like almond or coconut milk. So soak it overnight. In the morning you can add your toppings, so things like berries and LSA, which is linseed, sunflower and almond. So that's a good source of fiber and healthy fats. So that's going to keep your bowels healthy and happy as well. Another good tip is actually boo to the moo. So what I'm referring to is cow's dairy. So I would actually switch this out for something like goats or sheep's dairy instead, and I'll explain why. Because basically cow's dairy will increase the hormone IGF-1, which is insulin-like growth factor, and it's a similar structure to insulin. If you have high insulin and high insulin-like growth factor, this actually increases inflammation and it increases sebum. Remember, we don't want that, because if we have too much sebum there already, because after you've stopped the pill, your body's like, oh, I've got to catch up for lost time and I've got to make more sebum. We don't want any additional there, because this can actually lead to more acne, and that's really bad. The other thing is that cow's dairy contains A1 casein, which is extremely inflammatory as well. It's a very large protein molecule, difficult for the body to break down, and this actually contributes to inflammation, which also makes acne worse too. Now, if that wasn't already bad enough already, it increases mTOR, which is an enzyme that stimulates keratin production and sebum production and inflammation. So please make that switch to goat's or sheep's dairy instead, if you can tolerate it. If you're intolerant to lactose, it's probably not a good idea to switch to those. But if you're not, it's a great alternative and a lot more easier for your body to digest as well. And not inflammatory, so that's always a good thing. Ultimately, though, at the end of the day, it's all about finding out what are those causative factors that are potentiating your acne. What is actually driving it for you? So you need to discover, is it things like stress? Is it hormone imbalance? Is it poor digestive function? So is your liver not functioning optimally? What about your bowels? Are they operating properly? Do you have too much bad bacteria? Is that an issue? Inflammatory foods, are you consuming too much of that? What about sugary foods as well? Remembering that sugary foods can increase things like insulin, which increases inflammation, which makes your acne worse. How about lack of nutrients? Because when you're actually on the pill, it depletes a lot of different nutrients on the body, one of them being zinc. Now, zinc is a key antibacterial vitamin, and it's also an anti-inflammatory vitamin, and it also will help heal the skin as well. Sorry, mineral rather than vitamin, sorry. It also assists with liver detoxification as well, so extremely important there. So this is the kind of thing that I do in my clinic. I'm looking for causative factors. Is it one of those things that I've mentioned? Is it a combination? And then we devise a treatment plan together using herbal medicine, nutritional medicine, lifestyle and dietary advice to actually address and treat your acne. And I will usually do this 2 to 3 months prior to you coming off the pill to actually soften the blow, so to make sure that you don't have sort of an extreme outbreak once you come off the pill, to lessen the impact on your body. So that's extremely important to put in place. So if you actually like some support on coming off the pill and you're a bit scared because you've done it before and you've got, raging acne and ended up going back onto it, I would absolutely love to help and support you. All you have to do is go to the link in my bio, and I've got a free discovery call for 15 minutes where we can chat more about how I can help you and if we're a good fit. So that's in my bio. If you're watching on Facebook or YouTube, I'll pop a link below so you can book your free discovery call. And let's get started, because you don't have to put up with that. And it is scary for patients, before they've come to see me, they've tried to come off and they're a bit nervous because they keep getting this rebound acne. But it makes sense, doesn't it, why it's actually happening? Do we have any questions so far? I'll just have a look on Instagram and Facebook. Okay, no questions. If you're a bit shy to ask, you can always pop it into the comments on the replay, or send me a DM, and I'm more than happy to answer that for you. I have enjoyed thoroughly coming on to this evening and talking about that for you. And I would love for you to join me next week. I actually come on every Wednesday evening at 7:30 p.m. Australian Eastern Standard Time. If you're watching on my YouTube channel, please be sure to like and subscribe. And I will see you next week. Have a lovely evening. Thanks so much, everyone. Bye.